I was almost 7 years younger than Roland, and you can see what a big gap that is in this picture. By the way, I think this is quite a remarkable family picture, quite a period piece. 7 years is a long time and a big gap for a child. I was always trying to catch up to Roland, but really he belonged to another generation. When I started primary school, he started high school. When I started high school, he was already in second year university. When I was in matric, he got married. I suppose I knew that sometime I would catch up when we were adults, but he was certainly my big brother. But we had very good times together. Here you can see us at the Wanderers on Boxing Day, a day when Graham Pollock hit a magnificent 92, and two of his boundaries landed at the boards right in front of us. And by the way, a really nice picture of Dad when he was still well. Here we're all at Gululi's farm. You can see that Roland and Helen and Heather and Peter are already a number, and I'm still a teenager, still catching up. There was one particular occasion when I felt I was catching up. In matric, I won the Best Actor award for acting a rather wet Ferdinand in The Tempest, and I won half colours for debating. And the day after the prize giving, I sensed a deep respect from Roland for me for those things. And I think that was the beginning of catching up and for us becoming real friends. Roland was master of ceremonies at our wedding and did it so well, as he did so many things well down the years, and he helped to make that one of the happiest days of our lives. He was the MC and Eddie Prest gave the main speech, and seeing them together is a reminder to us of how much Scripture Union meant to him and how well he was to serve Scripture Union. As a wedding present, Roland made us a magnificent, beautiful Kiot headboard. We were able to say how we wanted it. We wanted the backrest to slope, and he did that. And it's been in pride of place in our bedroom now for 49 years. I wish we'd managed to have more holidays together, but somehow our times didn't coincide that well. But we did manage some. Here you see Roland and Helen struggling with their blow-up mattress. I remember that we camped side by side at Storms River, and I can remember Roland and Helen sitting all day in our tent as we watched the biggest waves any of us have ever seen before or since crashing onto the rocks. And those times gave our kids a love and respect for Roland and Helen. Roland taught me to sail one scary day on Fishhook Bay, from which Wendy has never recovered, but it gave me a deep love of sailing. And very generously, Roland later gave me the javelin, and that led to many years of happy sailing. Eventually we sold the javelin and bought a mirror dinghy, more to Wendy's tastes, and had more years of happy sailing. Then, of course, Roland and Helen moved to Brighton, and when they first left, I kind of thought they were leaving our lives. But actually almost the opposite seemed to happen. For one thing, we phoned one another more regularly, probably only about once a month, but those were usually an hour long, and we would discuss things back and forth, light-hearted and important things. On my 60th birthday, I was feeling quite down. I'd reached quite a crisis in my work, and I wasn't sure what to do. And then Roland phoned for my birthday. And as a result of that phone call with Roland, I made in the next week or two some major decisions that have really changed our lives and completely changed how the last 15 years have worked out in our lives, very much for the better. And I'll be forever grateful for that phone call. And we managed to go to England ourselves most Augusts, and always would spend some time with Roland and Helen. And we had some lovely adventures. I really enjoyed it when he took me up the tower, high above the streets of Brighton, which he was responsible for fixing. A very impressive and difficult job, but I loved watching him tell me about it. I also loved watching the 75-year-old roar up the tower while I trailed behind. We had a particularly nice day at the wonderful gardens at Sheffield Park, famous in autumn. When we got there, there were kilometres of queues of cars waiting to get in. And I thought we should just go home, but Roland being Roland found a way, and in we went. We had a lovely picnic and a super time in those fabulous gardens. I think this is my favourite picture of Roland, and it's in my favourite place, the Seven Sisters at Eastbourne. If you know the Seven Sisters, you'll know that you walk up and down 7 steep hills to get from one end to the other. He was 77 and I was 70, but he outwalked me totally. Roland was always stronger and fitter than I was. This picture is taken on the first day of what turned out to be our last visit. Quite often I would comment that we didn't know whether this might be our last visit, and he always had the same answer: let's just enjoy it now and let the future take care of itself. Little did we know that COVID would come in the way, and in fact we haven't been there now for 2.5 years. This picture was taken on the last day of our last visit, and is the last picture of us together. And so, after 75 years of having a big brother, I haven't got one anymore. And I'm finding it quite hard to grasp. But I will always be grateful for every memory of him, for all that he meant to me and to others, and all that he put into my life.
He's my brother.